Hello and welcome to the first lesson on the political philosophy of liberalism, and this is for the A-level politics political ideas module. So we're going to be covering liberalism, conservatism, socialism, anarchism, feminism, all these different political ideas. And we're going to start with liberalism. And in this lesson we're going to take an introduction to liberalism. We're going to look at a very brief introduction of the philosophy of liberalism, and then we'll just move about to looking at how to outline what we're going to try and achieve in this first chapter on liberalism. So, as an introduction to liberalism, most commentators and political theorists would argue that in the world today, liberalism is one of, if not the most important ideology, political idea. And this is because of its very long history and its very complex history, developing from the early liberals, the likes of Locke, John Locke, and then moving in through to Mill, and then into the more modern liberals, the likes of John Rawls. This is also due to the influential ideas liberalism provides. So, according to the United Nations, as many as 2/3 of states in the world could be classed as a liberal democracy or as liberal democracies. So this is undoubtedly the case that liberalism is seen as a prevailing ideology in the world today, although some may disagree. The ideas of conservatism also are on the rise in the world today, just like the ideas of socialism in places like South America. So in order to really understand liberalism, we must answer a few questions when we're talking about the philosophy of liberalism. What are the priorities of liberalism? What does liberalism intend to do? Okay. What do liberal societies or the liberal state embody? What does it look like? Okay. What does it mean to be liberal? And really, these are the three questions that, if you can answer these three questions, then you have a very solid grasp of the political idea, the political philosophy of liberalism. And it is true that liberalism is seen by many as a potentially confusing philosophy, and we'll talk in the next lesson when we talk about the origins of liberalism, why, as we start to develop our understanding, there are some aspects of liberalism that are potentially confusing. And just as I mentioned here, it has a very long, complex history from its historical development in the Enlightenment period all the way up to the modern day. So with that being said, we're just going to finish off by talking about what we're going to cover. So we're going to talk about the origins of liberalism as an ideology, something that we'll cover in the next lesson. We're going to talk about the core ideas of liberalism, so liberal views on the idea of society and economy. We're then going to split that by looking separately at the liberal state. So what does the idea of state entail in the philosophy of liberalism? We're going to talk about classical liberalism, and we're going to talk about modern liberalism, and we'll finish off by talking about neoliberalism and whether or not neoliberalism is more of a conservative ideology more than a liberal ideology, and the arguments that are made there. So that's effectively the overview of this chapter of this course. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to watch these lessons as well.